Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, aka CSPR. So, with that being said, let's just dive on in. First and foremost, I hope everybody's having a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are watching this from. I recently seen the news, right? We all seen it. If you are a Casper holder, you've seen it. Casper started to have a breakout. And well, guess what? We started to see a slight pullback. Now, I went over onto X and I posted, I see a lot of people screaming that Casper and HBAR are now fully retracing their moves. We just seen both of them retest significant resistance. A slight pullback was expected. Now we wait for the next retest to see a potential breakout. I outlined this move in the Patreon and it's been going as planned. Most are failing to see that this is just the start. And listen, as we look at this entire space right now, right, we are sitting at $1.6 trillion in the overall market cap of crypto. And Bitcoin just hit 44.7K, even Bitcoin having a slight pullback, 54% dominance. Remember that because that's crucial to note with Bitcoin. And also, if we look at the last 24 hours, well, there has been tremendous moves being made within this space. And if we actually look at the top 7-day gainers here, we can see that Casper is in the pool. Now, Casper's up about 28%. We're sitting at about roughly almost 4.5 cents almost. And we did see a nice spike all the way up to about like roughly 5 cents. Again, significant resistance around that space. If we actually look into the past previous taps of this level, like it's around 4.5 cents what they're showing on the chart here, but it's wrong. And I'm not going to open TradingView just to show you guys it, but ultimately back here we had 2 taps of this level, and then we had a retracement back to about roughly 3.5 cents before, of course, we went all the way up to about roughly 6.5 cents. Now, to me personally, what I'm looking for on Casper right now is a break above 7 cents. Because once we do break above 7 cents, in my opinion, 10 cents will happen very, very fast. And then we should pretty much be looking at retesting those highs from November of 2021, which we're sitting at about roughly 24 cents. Again, CoinMarketCap's chart is off, but that's what I do remember last. But remember, right, although this move might look like a lot on the chart in terms of like the 7-day or even like the 1 month, we look at the all-time chart, this chart has barely moved. And ultimately speaking, when we look at the market cap, we are still very well undervalued for Casper. It's sitting at $500 million in market cap. That is nothing compared to where most of these altcoins will go during the next major alt season. Now, talking about that, let's look into a few things, because I seen Kevin Cage, big shout out to Kevin Cage, post Casper's overall supply percentages. So Casper held by exchanges, Uphold 7%, OKX 3.5%, KuCoin has a few percentage between wallets, Gate has 1%, Huobi 1%, MEXC about roughly 1%. Let's hope Coinbase, Binance, and other T1 exchanges add some nice volume and hold some nice bags whenever they finally list. 71% of supply is in stake bonded, locked, securing the network. Staking APY 11%. That means in circulation for trading, exchanges, and apps, there's really only 2.9 billion versus $12 billion. For reference, when ADA hit $3 plus, it had a circulating supply of 32 billion last cycle and reached a $99 billion market cap. Is a $1 billion, $5 billion, or even a $10 billion plus market cap really that crazy in the future with adoption and the next bull cycle? No, and I completely agree. Not at all. Even Litecoin and Avalanche reached market caps of $27 to $32 billion. HBAR reached about roughly $7 billion. In my opinion, it's all just volume randomly rotating into different alts for now. Until we clearly break out of accumulation, it's all noise for my long-term holdings. And I completely agree. Listen, as we really kind of look at the historical snapshots here from November 7th of 2021, right around, where we've seen a lot of things brewing in terms of all-time highs for a lot of altcoins, we could actually see the market caps of some of these altcoins and also some of these meme coins as well. Like, for example, Shiba Inu, almost $1 billion in market cap. Dogecoin, $35 billion. And these are not even at all-time highs for these meme coins, but you could see some of the market caps here. And even into the top 50, the top 50 had $3.7 billion in market cap. Just to show you guys something real quick, look at the all-time high of QNT for Casper. You're sitting at about roughly 45.5 cents, an almost 10.5x from here. Again, all-time high of H-bar, almost a 14x, almost 60 cents here. And then also, Algorand, an upside of 26.5x, $1.15. You're talking about a $13.4 billion market cap. And don't even get me started on looking into Shiba Inu. Because listen, if we had the market cap of Shiba Inu at its all-time high, first off, look at the market cap at just right now. At all-time highs, you're talking about an 82x, a $3.55 Casper. And then, last but not least, let me just show you guys real quick, because I know that you guys are probably curious, Dogecoin. Dogecoin right now would have Casper trading over $1 plus. Dogecoin's all-time high, you're talking about 177x, almost an $8 Casper. Now, for those out there screaming, but Nick, that means an $80, almost $9 billion market cap. Yeah, guess what? ADA had a similar market cap. In fact, it was higher at $95 billion. Anything is possible. Although, yes, I tend to be a little bit more conservative with some of these price predictions on Casper, meaning, I'm really just looking at that $1 to almost $2 range. We could see much higher price targets. But to me, I think that this next year, into 2025, is going to be very big for a lot of these altcoins, including Casper. And also, if we are going to start to see a lot more listings, and I mean a lot more listings outside of exchanges like Bitvavo, for an example, and I'm not saying that this isn't a small, or this isn't a big exchange or anything like that, but it's small in comparison to Binance, Coinbase, you name it. When we start to see those listings for Casper, anything is possible. But I do agree with Kevin here. Like, as we look at the percentage of Casper out there, it's very minimal. And the supply to staked supply is absolutely insane. I've said it 100 times. When you have something like Casper with the supply, I know everyone's going to say, but it has no max supply. That's what we've been hearing, right? No max supply for Casper. It's comical that that is an argument. There is so many projects in this space that don't have a max supply, yet they continue to thrive. For an example, I've talked about it already, Ethereum. Ethereum has no max supply. BNB has no max supply. Solana has no max supply. None of these tokens have a max supply. Yet guess what? They do very well. And there's so many like that in this space. So what is the big argument around Casper and why Casper can't hit and achieve these massive price predictions? There's nothing stopping it. Even Solana at its all-time high, 154x. Like, this is a possibility. And by the way, big shout out to Martin Heisboek from Uphold. We recently just seen Casper in the Financial Times talking about tokenized securities. Look at this. Tokenized securities, chain reaction. They were talking about the cryptocurrency boom and how tokenized volumes today are small, but again, in the future, probably going to see a lot bigger moves being made here. But even from the Casper Association, Ralph Kublai actually was talking about private debt, structured finance, how things are changing, how increasing liquidity could become a huge benefit from tokenization. And there's so much more access being allowed to investors because, again, now you have fractionalization. Again, this is something crucial to note because we are seeing Casper being mentioned in the real world. I know everyone wants to say, oh, well, Casper isn't doing enough. There isn't a lot going on with Casper. I want you all to understand that things can change very, very fast. Now, last but not least, I do want to wrap this video up by giving Tokenizer a huge shout out. He actually posted recently talking about Casper. Lately, Casper feels more and more like the layer one I've been looking for all this time. And you know what? I don't think that Tokenizer is the only one that's feeling this way. I've seen so many new individuals out there looking into Casper and then sending me a message saying, hey, Nick, I now see why you like Casper so much. It's because once you really look into the connections, once you experience how it's a hybrid technology stack, and then you look at what all of the big players are talking about in terms of hybrid blockchains, and then you also look at the upgradable smart contracts, it's truly eye-opening. Early on, I thought Ethereum was the one. Then I got swooned to 88 by Hoskinson's words. What I was looking for was true enterprise focus for industry-grade DLT utility. Casper is the answer. What I've been trying to seek all this time has been a true enterprise-focused public layer 1 network with real applications built and decent tokenomics. The only other public DLTs that somewhat fall in this scheme are Algo, HBAR, XDC, and EWT. Each are great in their own ways, and I even hold these. But it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Energy Web and Zinfin are amazing projects in their own sectors, but that's also where most of their focus is. Hedera is arguably one of the strongest corporate DLTs, but they're aiming to build something different compared to what I was after. Algorand is another solid network with real adoption from the public and private sector, but I felt they had a greater focus on R&D. I was looking for a company that simply provided blockchain solutions to other businesses, like a red hat for the industry. With so much of the current blockchain space focused around more general use cases and retail-focused activities such as open DeFi, NFT marketplaces, etc., it can definitely be hard to spot real use cases. I'm not saying there is anything wrong in having DeFi within a blockchain ecosystem. In fact, I think it's important as an ecosystem to have that balance of both retail and enterprise applications in the long run. But that's also where the problem lies. More often than not, public layer ones only seem to be able to attract retail-focused applications. This is because much of the enterprise DLT adoption has happened on the other end, through private DLT networks such as Corda, Fabric, Quorum. But now we're seeing the convergence of the two, the hybrid use of public and private blockchains together to fit the best of both worlds. And with Casper hybrid approach, through flexibility and customization, they're perfectly positioned. But it wasn't love at first sight. When I first started looking into and creating content for Casper ecosystem, I didn't think much of it. It seemed like a decent layer one with potential, nothing more, nothing less. I really wasn't sure why some of my favorite researchers like Kevin Cage or Internet of Value Owl were so crazy about it. Something just felt off, almost dead, like a ghost. That was until I dug deeper. And again, I say this to everyone that thinks Casper is dead. You need to be doing substantial research into what Casper is actually doing. There is so much more ammunition behind this than what meets the eye. I then took a good look at their partnerships and teams, connections, and experiences, and then this is where it finally hit Tokenizer. There are less than a handful of projects in the space that can boast the level of utility and size of the partners that Casper's been working with directly. We're talking about ISO TC68, Actis, Ariadne, and Nucleus Finance that truly did it for me. As you may know, DLT standardization is a big key for me when looking at the long-term potential of DLT projects. Seeing Casper was working directly with the foundation responsible for 98% of financial contracts is saying quite a bit. Then paired with the fact that we'll see the Casper manager, he's going to be at a huge event. This is INATBA and EU's DLT standardization event tomorrow, just adds to the mix even further. IBM, BSN, WiseKey, Telegana, Hyperledger. There is so many players here. Like it's absolutely insane to see how fast Casper has exploded and expanded in just the last few years. Like, listen, I love Hedera. I love what Hedera is doing. I love Algorand. I love a lot of these projects, but I mean, Casper still remains my number one holding for a reason. It's simply because of all of the utility combined with what we know about Casper, the tokenomics of Casper, the potential of Casper. It's my number one holding for a reason. Because at the end of the day, when we look at how undervalued this thing is, when we compare it to the all-time high of some of these tokens, it's insane to think that Casper can't hit some of these valuations. I mean, we're talking about, let's just go down to Bitcoin Cash at the all-time highs of Bitcoin Cash. $64 billion, a 127x. We could look at any of these coins. When we look at even Uniswap, right? 45x. Again, this is very significant. This is a $22 billion market cap. Now, again, we still need to be cautious. We don't know where Casper is going to go, but in my opinion, the sky's the limit here. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if there's more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the video Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.